we go, ladies and gentlemen. We are finally about to go live. It is the PUBG Invitational live here in Katowice for the Intel Extreme Masters. And at last, the plane is in the air. This is the time we've all been waiting for. We are so intrigued to see where they're going to go. It is a pretty much cut across the channel, a plane going from Novo up to, well, just south of Gatkra, I think, across the map. So that's going to definitely cause problems for the northern teams, and we'll see whether anybody makes the adjustments. We talked about Noble, a team that jumps out early and first, right there. But I'm also seeing LGD following alongside FaZe towards Milta Power.
Yeah, this specific plane is going to be a bit tough for the teams going to the north side, as they're going to have to parachute towards like Yasnaya and fight for vehicles. We might see teams that go Lipovka, Yasnaya, the Rozoks. They're going to be jumping against each other. As I said, Noble, they started Noble and they dropped there instantly, so they're going to be looting there for free. Same for Rogue, not being contested. We'll see a couple of teams flying towards South Georgia right now. See Optic.
Well, they're going North George, yeah.
They might be going North George with a Vanguard and Kingwing, and I believe KSV are going to be going South George. LGD actually dropping near Milta Power, so we're going to see Vitality, LGD, and FaZe fighting for that location.
Yeah, so obviously you expect Vitality to be in Milta and FaZe to be in Milta Power, but LGD kind of wedged themselves in between the two. Now, there's been a bit of respect from these two teams, obviously the two top European teams, but LGD, they're going to be jumping in vehicles, and I wonder if they're going to be going Mansion, Lipovka, and Prison, that sort of thing. It does look like that's where they're going. Here we are in Georgia Pole, though, and KSV are in here. Optic are passing on by. They're going to be going into North George. Expect a Vanguard to be doing the same. They're also looking to get by. I also see Ghost Gaming up there as well. Now, they probably want to get in and get towards Severny, or they could just be messing with someone. You can see already KSV in position. This is going to be a bloodbath. There is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 teams in and around here. Kingwin have diverted, and it looks like they're going to try and go down towards Gatkra instead. That's where they're going to move. Larsen's the only furthest north player there is, and he's going to dodge between these. Is the iron sight from Simpson. Is Larsen going to be the first man down? He won't want to have that and his CV, and he's going to get away by the looks of it.
Yeah, I mean, this specific playing path was really tough for Kingwin, and they seem to be splitting around Gatkra and are not going to go South George. But that first circle did appear, and it's going to be a southeast circle, which is going to be tough, especially the way the playing was, because all these teams going to the north side of the map are going to take their time to get there, and they're going to take their time to loot. So now that the circle is so far away from them, it's going to be curious to see how the teams are going to rotate around here.
That is pretty much the furthest southeast circle you could get, because it's kind of half off the map. It's kind of, that's how far it is. We're expecting, where do you reckon that was going to swing? Because, okay, let's think your position, think where you are. Say, for example, you're in Yasnaya. Would you play it safe and game maybe to the hills of Milta, or would you try and get onto Sosnovka Island?
Yeah, we see two teams, North Georgia, as we expected, as we said earlier, Optic and Avanga are looting a little bit. They're going to be pretty much safe on each side of the apartments, one team on the west and one to the east.
They're not going to conflict. They might if they're on the top of the buildings, but they probably won't conflict with one another. It's pretty much safe looting. It depends whether they run in, because these guys did clash. I know Optic scouted it in the previous scrim. We're like, yeah, okay, Avanga are there. We kind of expect that. We've seen them, obviously. They drop there every single round in qualifiers, so it's a very much known area. But Optic is certainly very capable, and they're very much aware of this. Obviously, they're used to trading with TSM in the north. But look at that circle way down south. So my question was, do you go into Sosnovka now? Obviously not now, but you loot up and go Sosnovka, or do you stay the north side? I'm seeing Chaos. Chaos are already looking to set up possibly a bridge camp, which would be actually quite vital here. Are they going to stick around this station?
I think they're probably going to rotate.
They're going to go over towards the crossroads, maybe.
They got farm, they looted farm, and we know this team, we've spoken to them, and they like looting fast and going instantly to the middle of the circle. And the fact that they have farm, they have this free bridge that they're dropping around, so they know if anyone's camping the bridge or not. So they're going to start rotating to the military island and going to probably take a prime spot there. As we saw, Noble was bang in the middle in Nova, so they're just going to keep on looting and stay there. See Vitality looting that Milta town.
I mean, these guys are on their auto paths now, effectively. So from that point of view, obviously you are in a tournament. How tense do you have to be? Obviously, you can see Monkey looking around there, just like a little unsure. He knew that LGD dropped in and around that area, but they've obviously gone further north now. But when you're in your loot path, like now, something you've done probably 1,000 times by now, I guess, through scrims. how autopilot are you in, or how focused you have to be, because you can just switch off and just carry on running your route, right?
Yeah, I mean, the fact that you mentioned LGT kind of landed around them, you have to be a little bit wary if there could be a solo guy maybe that didn't get a vehicle is looting around, so you have to pay attention to what you're doing. But if you see no teams dropping around you, you kind of go to that autopilot fast loot mode and not really scout around you until you're geared up.
Talking about teams moving early, we've got 1 minute 40 until the circle even collapses, and this is a massive circle. I'm already seeing on the map Method and Cloud9 heading over the West Bridge, so these guys are getting across very, very early. Obviously, we saw Chaos coming across. These guys, looks like Leighton's been forced to go wide, and potentially a bridge camp going to be set up by Method here, or whether they're just going to abandon Leighton and say, you know what, it's time to swim, buddy.
Yeah, I mean, the circle did shrink on the east side of military. They don't want to be wasting their time if they're going to rotate fast. They want to take a mid-compound, so they might just leave Leighton there, swim across, and come in later. It's more important to have 3 guys in the middle of the circle, and especially when it's this circle, when there's not that much space to play around. So they're going to leave Leighton behind and not camp the bridge, it seems. Yep,
Cloud9 going to move over. We'll see whether they decide to set up a camp. They're actually very cautious of Method. We know that Method have moved on, but of course they have no idea, so they're going to approach it vehicle at a time, scout it out early. You can see Frolica just going to dodge and weave and try and play right along the edge, just seeing if anyone was tucked into the corner there. Says it's safe, everyone will follow him through. Now we're seeing this is a very early rotate. I think it's because of how deep south this circle is.
And there's not a lot of space. As you can see, the circle is almost 70% water, so that means 30% land. So if you come in late, everything's going to be taken with 16 teams.
Yeah, there's not a lot of complexes. So what we're seeing, perhaps Method going to do here is start to set up, because there's a lot of hillside here. There's some really big points. Rogue obviously were on military base early on, so they've got themselves this compound set up. You can see they've got this hillside, which is why they're going to have a perfect view over the top. If they've picked up the scopes, I can only see a red dot on Yannick there, so I wonder. Sometimes he's got a tier 3 vest, tier 2 helm, but sometimes there's scopes, they're just not there.
Yeah, exactly. And but they did loot military. I'm imagining from military you will have at least one scope.
At least one 4 times,
the team, yeah. So we see Method rotating on their south there, leaving Leighton behind, as we mentioned, and they're going to go on the south side of the military island.
I think we can still hear Leighton swimming. I think he's in there somewhere. He's making his way across. Bless him. He'll come up for air soon enough, don't worry. Tempo Storm also making their way across. Of course, they were west coast. Kinguin also heading this way. They've gone down towards Ferry Pier. But we're hearing shots, the first shots here of the PUBG Invitational. It is expected. Rogue, looks like they're taking shots onto Cloud9, looking towards the little shacks. We were talking about scopes. There's a lovely 8 times on Ewan, and he sees Frolica. Does he see him, though? Because Frolica's tucked himself in on the shack, just behind the rock. He won't have any vision where he is at the moment.
Yeah, C9 all rotating in, and Frolica did kind of get a bit caught off guard, and he's just proning behind the little ridge there. Taking some shots back, though.
Jazz are getting tagged up there. Car 98 ready and waiting to go. The rest of the boys trying to put the shots in. They will manage to tag up Frolica pretty low. He'll just be able to heal himself up safely behind that rock. The rest of the Cloud9 you can see just off to the right-hand side. They're setting up, realizing it's a little too dangerous to bring all the vehicles down there. They have a decent ridge line to keep those vehicles hidden. Now, you've got to remember, Method were close by as well. They're going to be hearing all these shots behind them, and their attention will be drawn. And actually, they will have a very interesting angle on this Cloud9 fight.
Yeah, C9 has seemed to abandon that and left Frolica alone. I saw Frex and Solid leave with the vehicles, and Frolica at the same time gets knocked and going to be finished. So Frolica, the first one down in game 1.
Nobody wants that. Nobody wants that. Moody goes down at the same time. Andy Pyro picking up a kill for Method there. As I said, they were just down the hill. They're over the ridgeline there. So Cloud9 in all sorts of trouble. Down to 2 members in the first game. Nobody wants to be the first team out, so they're going to have to go into snake mode, I feel, and start trying to hide it out. Now, Chaos and Vitality, they've also moved across the bridge, so they're kind of setting up their own camp. It leaves a lot of teams with some interesting predicaments to get into this zone, because we're already seeing shots. You know, your boy Dre, he's in trouble here. Phyrexis and Solid going to peek over the top. You've got Rogue Pete shooting at him from above. He manages to blast on through, but he's going to report back to Valiant and Co. say, this is not a safe area. And this is what we're talking about. When this much water is involved, when this is 70% water, the landmass is very small.
Yep.
Which is probably why we're seeing these rotations, like very, very early rotations from some of these teams.
Yeah, and your boy Dre there was scouting, and he heard all these shots, and he turned the 360, and I'm out. He doesn't want any of this Rogue and C9 action, and the Method in between as well. So they're going to be going towards the southwest side, probably the cliffs in the map. A pretty decent spot to hold cliffs because you see a lot of teams will probably come in with the boat and you'll get a lot of kills that way.
Just having a look at the map, we have obviously the beauty of the map on our screen. So Kinguin, you can see Sun Sisters, they're all coming in on boats, TSM coming in on boats, LGD coming in on boats, everybody else making the way. And you can see that KLG, Chaos have themselves that crossroads camp. Vitality also look to be taking shots. Noble, of course, who went into Novo very early on, they're going to be hearing the shots off in the distance as they continue to trade. They have this little overlook of Vitality who are sat on the rocks. While the bridge camp, well, I mean, it's not really just so much a bridge camp, it's more a crossroads camp. You see Noble there in the distance, Chaos, you can see Team 14 there in just the distance of Vitality on the right-hand side of the edge of the rocks. So 3 teams setting up a triangle. There really isn't too much landmass in and around the central of the circle. That's what these guys are trying to get right now. They're trying to get the center.
Yep. And as we see, Chaos and both Vitality rotating from the north side to the military island. That leaves Farm and Milta free. That's where they looted. So we're going to see a kind of few teams now coming in from the north side. That's going to be kind of free for them right now to come in just because Vitality and Chaos moved in early.
I think FaZe have swum across. I think obviously they're in Milta Power, so they've swam across. Bearing in mind, obviously, there is still a lot of landmass in the north. The circle could take a deviation up that way into Milta, and that would make things very entertaining for you and I, but to see everybody trying to get across that east bridge. Circle continues to shrink. It is now the blue basically inside Sosnovka. So KSV, Vanguard, all starting to take damage. Optic, Ghost, all still trying to make their way in. A couple of members of TSM, they're gone for a 2-2 split, which is another thing we'll get to in a little while. KSV, we can see here, they've actually almost got themselves a little camp. They're just trading out items on the edge. This is before the west bridge, so they haven't even gone over the bridge yet. There you can see on the map, Vanguard actually just about to come in, so they may conflict. KSV, of course, we're in South George. Vanguard, we're in North George. And KSV look like they're ready to take some shots on. Anu is going to come straight into them. He's going to get ripped apart. Nothing he can do there. Sexy Pig will take him down. And Esther, the captain for KSV, and in-game call-up will manage to land the shots. And Vanguard, the Russians in trouble. Keen, normally the scout, he's taking shots as well. Yoon trying to get himself a position. Look, they are on the west bridge. They're ready and waiting to rip them apart. Vanguard, they're going to have to ditch it. They've got to go water here.
Yeah, this is something that Vanguard actually tend to do a lot, is come in late from the blue. But one issue with that is if you have this team still holding here, they just get apart. Now, KSV did lose one player in that engagement. We saw Vanguard get a knock on them. And we also see Sun Sisters, Homo, playing the west side bridge as well. His team all rotated on the south side, but he's still playing around near KSV. Drainy's taking some shot from Sims, doesn't seem to connect, so Drainy seems to manage to survive that.
He just blasted past. Now, they're actually going back. And I know these boys. The Vanguard are not shy of a fight. So the fact that they've taken one apiece effectively. And neither are doing each other any favor right now because they're just harming each other's chances. Obviously fighting for med. You can see he's got a first aid and he's actually got a med pack as well. So that's actually pretty decent for Sexy Pig. These guys have all looted Georgia Ball, so they're going to be pretty well geared.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, they're ruining each other's things here. They both lost one player. They're just better off just like making a pact and just go one by one into the bridge and go into the circle.
If we get the map up, the circle has just shrunk in, which is why we're seeing shots. Actually, I can see Tempo Storm losing 2. The circle has shrunk once again, and it's very much centered on Novo. So Novo going to be the focus now. And a lot of people heading that way, and it's caused, obviously, a lot of movement. Look at this. You can see Phaser in there, Chaos in there, Noble in there, Vitality coming out the shoreline, Tempo Storm trying to get down. It is Chaos in Novo.
Yeah, and Chaos, Latin Gamers actually have probably one of the prime spots of this barn one, because this is outskirts of Novo. If you want to play a town, you want to play on the outskirts. You don't want to be bang in the middle, because then when it shrinks away from you, you're trapped. You want to be on the edges. So Chaos taking a good spot. FaZe on the southwest side of Novo, as well, not in a bad spot themselves. You see here Mexi looking around and just kind of like taking control of this south side of Novo.
Just to update you on KSV and Vanguard, they're both now coming across the bridge. They've kind of realized that, you know what, the circle's bumped updated. We're all taking way too much damage, so they're all making their way across the bridge. It's a very harmonious thing. I can see one member of Sun Sisters that's left, but this is where we want to look at. Sexy Pig has knocked himself. He's jumped out the vehicle too soon.
I believe he took a damage and took...
I think he had to bail out the car before he exploded, Major had to bite the bullet. But speaking of biting the bullets, FaZe inside. Now, this is really a position you don't want to be in, I would say, for FaZe right now. They're pushing
a little bit too far north right now. They need to control the south side. And Jepti maybe is noticing that, is holding a little bit back. They're doing kind of a 2-2 split, which is not a bad idea. As long as you have the south side, you can do that split.
Noble, though, this is a great complex.
Yeah.
This is probably the best one complex in Nova because they have this overlook. And look, they can see phase down low. You've got a view of Chaos and the other side of you towards the coastline. And you can see people coming from the crossroads. So they have a perfect spot right now, Noble, in my opinion.
I mean, they looted here, so they obviously took this spot.
Yeah.
They know about it, and they know this spot is the most info and easiest to rotate out of. So they're going to be sticking there for quite a while. Chaos Land and Gamers, we just mentioned, they did lose one player, actually, down to 3. I didn't notice how that, probably during that rotation to get that compound, they lost one player.
Yeah, they were trading with Vitality a bit, so I wouldn't be surprised if we saw them picking up a kill. Just to update you a little bit more, Optic and Ghost Gaming, they are all on the swim. Obviously not a great deal of vehicles going to be available on the coastline now. TSM also have Break, and I think it's Vis that's actually swimming across. It may be Smack, I'm not sure. AIM is way down south, so TSM gone for a big split.
Kingwin here, they actually managed to survive the South George, and we saw them go to a little bit more
Gatka. Yeah,
they went to Gatka side bandit, so they are all 4 alive, which is perfect for them. They took boats, they went from the south side with the boat and landed. And they just took this hill, which is not a bad spot to be in right now.
An interesting thing for them is how geared they're going to be in comparison to how they would be used to being geared from South Georgia Pole. Obviously, I'm seeing tier 1 vest for Miraku, for example, and a red dot, and whether he's got any scopes in there or not. Also looking around, you can see Rogue actually taking shots at KSV down low. They've been obviously on this hill. There's a Vanguard come in. Drainius gets lit up by Gaxi. One member, I think, Mumino, that is ditching for the water. That's going to be Drainius down, and a Vanguard have just been hurt so badly in these rotations. I believe they are down to 1.
That's one of the issues of coming in late, especially in a circle where it was so small landmass that if you come super late, you're going to have a lot of teams in the center, a lot of teams in the edge, so they'll be taking some dot damage from that blue, and now they come in with half HP and just get battered by Kingwing, losing 1 player there.
So KSV in the hangar. Larsen's very exposed at the moment. If Esther were to look this way, you can see in the X-ray he's hopping around inside there. Sun Sisters take Keen down. I think a Vanguard, they must be down to 1 man. There's still 16 teams alive. I can't see who is left for them because there's just a mass of name tags in there. As Bloom goes down to Fuzzface, Larsen suddenly is getting lit up, realizing he needs to hide in the shack. The rest of Kingwin trying to get across. This is not a very safe spot, and they're not inside the circle yet.
Yeah. But they kind of got on the southwest shrink, which is going to a little bit help them up to go up these ridges. I think there's a ridges north of Kingwin that might be able to take free, but I believe they have no vehicles. So this is going to be a tough rotation with Rogue shooting at them right now.
Third circle update has actually gone very favorable for Rogue.
Yep.
If you can see the minimap, or at least a chunk of it, we will see that it's actually swung a
though, and the swimmers are going to come in. I think we're back. Obviously, Kingwin, Vard getting knocked out right now by C9, who are holding them to the east.
The only 2 members as well that left for C9. They were pushing straight into him. Kingwin are kind of in this horrible situation. There's no cover at all. They come up between, I think it's KSV, Rogue, and C9. They've got nowhere to go, Kingwin. They're in a real problematic position. As you can see, we did lose 1 squad in there. I believe that was a Vanguard that went down first, which is not ideal for the Russians. You know, we were talking about their inconsistency, and this is very much it. They were very late on the rotations, and they've been caught out in that position, especially when it's such a southern circle.
Yeah, on their behalf, they do loot North Georgia, and it was a military
circle. It's the furthest point, yeah, it's the furthest point
for them, so they had struggles coming in at the bridge, and then now coming into the edge, and they lose all their members.
There's a lot of people that were swimming in and around Nova that are all pushing in on the rock. Like the hillside, the hills of Novo are alive with people at the moment. You can see them there on your screen. You can see LGD playing on the rocks here. You can see Chaos, Team 14, Tempo Storm off to the left. In the distance, shots being traded. You can see FaZe in there. Team number 2 is just trading back and forward. This is such a complex area. Method off in the complex is there. LGD with a view of a couple of people peeking up there. I think that was Method maybe creeping up. That was Ghost Gaming, sorry. They were just creeping up on the beach line that they've got a vision of.
We see Break and Smack outside the blue right now swimming, so they're going to be struggling a little bit because you can't heal underneath
well, this
the
is
water.
the fourth circle about to hit. That's going to hurt.
The next one's going to start hurting for them, and I feel they're going to struggle.
Rogue again. Rogue Circle. Well, they were the team that were here, right? They were in Sosnovka. They went for the hillside early on. They went for that hillside complex, and it does give them that advantage. FaZe need to move. You can see Chaos are just inside. Noble finally have to lead this really awesome complex area. And Ghost Gaming, they're making this move. They're going to be massively visible to LGD on the left here. Smack and Break go down in the play zone. We talked about they went for a 2-2 split early on. They were very late moving in, which means obviously there was no vehicles. FaZe on the move. FaZe are starting to go out. They're going to rush in towards Chaos as McCoy tries to push up behind them.
Yeah, Ghost is going to cause a pincer here against FaZe. Chaos Landing Gamers against him as well. See Smitty. They're down to 3 though, and Papaya seems to be getting the bike and abandoning.
So FaZe right up on Meximus, but Mexi's actually pushed up there. He manages to get Papaya down. As soon as they came out there, I don't think they realized they saw FaZe were there. Whether they realized somebody had quite pushed up right on top of them. But Mexi has basically bought time for the rest of FaZe to move. You can see Fuzzface making his way up the hill now. You can see FaZe are just going to collapse onto this complex. This complex inside the circle. They want it. They're going to try and take it from the Chilean team. Solid manages to get Gaxi down. Obviously, we're talking about Kinguin in a desperate situation, but this is FaZe on a full breach. Let's see, they're going to just shut the doors. Now, will they go in? That's the question, okay? Do you want to go inside and actually try and breach them and clear out Chaos here? Or do you want to just basically keep them contained?
FaZe have all 4 players, so FaZe are an aggressive team. I believe they will just get all 4 players in and probably push it, because they wouldn't want to approach the next circle with 2 players in that compound and maybe backstab them later on. So they want to clear it out, and they'll probably just, they're still split, 2-2 split. And Ghost Gaming as well is on the outskirts coming in, so we're going to see a 3-way fight.
I think Ghost took shocks at Fuzzface as he crossed. You can see Fuzzface took damage, which has probably stopped Haxeti and Yempty both pushing. Because you see Divine legit peeking. You can see Profi making a flank now. This is a 3-way fight that could go any way. It's basically 2-on-2 inside the vehicle, inside the complex. Solid picking off Miraku now. Kinguin, they must be down to 1 member. They've lost so many on this rotation. Mex is going to go for it. He's going to get the peek across. Looks at Divine legit. Should be able to get the shots. Will get the knock and the kill. McCoy peeks around, but he's not able to help his buddy out. Looks like that's going to be a solid kill for Mexi there. And he takes another shot, but he gets knocked down straight away by Profi in response.
Yep. That was a good peek from Mexi there as soon as he saw them like looking towards another location. But the circle is going to be shrinking in, and actually FaZe has the advantage here. We see Tempo Storm shooting LGD. LGD outside the circle right now, taking a few hits with that red dot AK. Pretty hard to land those shots from this distance.
M24 from Haxeti, that's going to hurt. Austin gets knocked by that one. You see LGD taking a peek. I think Kinguin are down. They went out in 15th place, if I recall. That's looking at the shots. You can see LGD and Method are trading right here as LGD trying to push onto Tempo Storm as well. You can see Method off to the side. They've got a pretty clear angle on this. Yempty takes down Profi. Profi going down for Ghost. Ghost are down to 2 as well. There is so many flicks. I can see Vitality, Noble, and Optical trading as well while it's happening. There is literally 3 or 4 fights happening at once as we watch LGD here as well trying to push up. They've got Method to the side. They've got Tempo Storm. We're down to 2 from a very early complex. You can just see, looking at the side, Vitality losing members up in the north there as well as Noble tried to push out from their complex. Vitality down to 1, I believe, and they've just been wiped out. So Vitality go down in 14th place. Some big names dropping early here.
This is one of the issues I spoke about earlier, that about these towns. If you're on the outskirts of the towns, when it shrinks away from you, as it's shrinking away from Noble right now, we see Noble coming in.
Fuzzface taking down Austin there, so that's just 1 member of Ghost left. You can see they're tanking out the blue as well, and that blue is going to hurt as it moves into the 5th circle. Rogue once again inside. Optic up on high. They're the only 2 teams inside. KSV have to push up outside of the airfield. Sun Sisters, Cloud9, TSM all have to push up from the south side, along with Method and LGD and Tempo Storm. They're all down here. You can see LGD right now. It's Method to the left of them. Tempo Storm are going for it. They're going up the hill in the vehicles. LGD, are they going to try and take shots? It does actually open them up. But you can see Optic, they're up here on the radar tower, and they have this clear overlook situation. Now, the only problem you've got to be careful of is getting a big straight knock to the head there.
Yeah, exactly. We saw just AMPR get down, so 12th place for TSM. They actually finished. So none of them are alive. We see a lot of teams. We saw Tempo Storm move vehicles instantly as the circle came up and take the next position and use those vehicles for cover. So they're using that not a lot of teams are going to have vehicles at this point of the game, so they're exploiting that.
Sun Sisters go down in 12th by the looks of it there. They just got took out by Cloud9, by the way. 4 kills for these guys now. They've been down to 2 players for a long time, but they're starting to collect some kills and creeping in towards that top 10. Now, consistency is going to be what you want here. Obviously, 8 matches to be played, 4 today, 4 tomorrow. And, of course, the points will accumulate over that entire duration. Solid is going to run for it. Here's Rogue on the move. Here's Yannick trying to make the pass. They do have cover. You can hear the shots raining in as Yempty gets taken down by Valiant there. As Tempo Storm moved early on, got ahead of that position. As we see Mexi quickly replying. So both players losing 1. That nade looks like it could be good. It goes towards Mexi! And it manages to find the mark as Maluk manages to push around. Now, can he go for the res, or will he just try and push up and be aggressive and maybe try and finish off FaZe, who are down to 2 members at the moment. Mexi's going to bleed out. Yempty is in all sorts of trouble. Fuzzface is trying to force Smitty down behind him as Chaos down to 1. Looks like Fred's going to have to push up. You can see he's in that blue. This is the 5th circle, so he's going to hurt like hell.
Yeah, this is one of the issues. Fuzzface had to hold the North because he didn't clear the compound of Chaos. And Tempo Storm actually getting knocked by Method and Optic at the same time whilst that was going on. So one of the players of Chaos does end up dying in the compound, but one of them escaped from the North. And Fuzzface is just holding this side right now.
Tempo Storm, I think, have just been wiped out. I think they went down 11th. Method have just obliterated them. They came up. Andy Pyro somewhere, somehow, has picked himself up an M24, and that's a dangerous problem as 80 gets Yempty down as well. Method are just lighting up everybody on this hillside. They seem to have the perfect angle as they get another down. Chaos go down in 10th. That's going to be, I believe, Chaos finished off. LGD go down as well. So teams are dropping. I can see 1 member of LGD alive. FaZe are down to 3, I believe, as Noble now look to be pushing on top of them. You can see Fuzzface here tracking their movements, but that blue is hurting like hell as he manages to rush up on the hillside. He's going to try and tuck him behind here, just behind Natural. Did they see him moving? I believe they did. You can see the circle on him. He's going to go down to the play zone. He's just trying to do some damage, but he will drop. And Simba does manage to get taken down by Haxeti, so that's LGD going out in 9th place as the circle shifts and it goes to the road. Not a single team inside it.
Yeah, and FaZe are now kind of a little bit trapped between the north side of Noble and the south side Method. So they're down to 2 players. Fuzzface almost kind of clutched into the circle that could have helped them, but unfortunately goes down. So the center is going to go a little bit southeast. So all the teams on the west side are going to struggle now to fight for this next rotation.
So let's talk advantages. We can see Noble here with 3. FaZe are down to, I believe, 2. Rogue still have 4 alive. They're now all on a flank, and they may actually find Solid here. So Cloud9 in trouble. He knows he's in and around here. KSV also snuck in. Sun Sisters, that's going to be Solid going down. That is Cloud9 picked off. Now, does he realize that Sun Sisters are in this shack right next to him? They have 2 members in there, and the Japanese team have got themselves into the top 7 now. I can see also, looking at this, looking at the screens, I can see that KSV still have 3 alive, and they're actually right behind Rogue. So Rogue could be backstabbed here.
Yeah, and Rogue are playing a split as well, 2-2. This could be chaotic if they do fight that 2v3 against KSV, because his teammates cannot help. And Fuffin end up getting knocked and finished by KSV, so now it's a 3v1 against Yannick.
Finds the head, Ewan manages to reply back, but KSV and Rogue, these were the 2 teams that had the most men alive, are trading blows. You can see that Ewan is now down. It's just Yannick and Jazza who are forward. Meanwhile, Noble get themselves a double knock. Godspeed and Natural taken down by Haxeti. Must have had a double in there. Does finish off 1. Optic getting involved as well. They have a really good position as well as they try and push it. Yannick runs straight into the Sun Sisters. Rogue will go down. And now Jazza, he's the last man. He's going to get picked off. They will go down in 7th place. The Sun Sisters doing really well. They're picking themselves up a quick double as Method now push down the hill. They're starting to get lit up by Noble and FaZe as they move down, but there's FaZe going down into 6th place as Andy Pyro with the M24 lands the shot.
As we spoke about them as well, Method, just an aggressive team with 11 kills already in this game, and Andy was 6 individually himself. So
play the edge game. Hiphop taking shots with his SKS, but not really landing them. And now Andy, with that M24, has to try and get a knock to open up this move. But KSV look like they're creeping. Looks like they're on the snake. Judging by Team 10 on the minimap, that's KSV creeping in. Sun Sisters Team 12 down the bottom there. As Optic with 4 alive look to try and make it. It's all about landing a knock right now.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, they have to go across the street, as we mentioned, so they need to get this entry fact before they push. They're throwing smokes, so smokes are now really useful, and they're going to be crossing the street right now. But yeah, KSV, as we mentioned, and SST are going to cause a little bit spoiler, because they're hiding right now.
There's the circle. Bahawaka sees Turtle. He sees 8C on the flank. 8C trying to get in. Andy switching over to the M4. They've got to push it. They've got to use these smokes. They've got a wall of smokes, but he's going to push them over the ridge. That grenade looked like it's going to be very good for Bahawaka. Doesn't see whether it lands. Sun Sisters will get picked off. They go down in 4th place as KSV pick themselves up the kill, and they are flanking around the backside of Optic. So Optic's suddenly aware that they need to be looking over this ridge line while they have to try and deal with Method. Oh, Turtle so low. Has to get himself down and healed up, but the Method successfully get 3 across. As I say that, they lose 1. They get knocks around the side there. Turtle will go down as well. So Method down to nothing as 1 man stands. It is going to be, I believe, Leighton that's in there. I'm trying to see who's alive.
8C.
It's 8C. It's 8C that's going to be in there. And 8C will go down. Optic will pick them off. It's Optic versus KSV. And it's Optic with 4 men alive. They are in prime position to take the chicken dinner.
Yep, and it's a 4v2. This is the situation right now, and they know where KSV is as they heard the shots, and now they have the circle on the north side as well. And Hypok gets a knockdown to Pig, sexy Pig, and the finish. Beautiful by Optic with an 8-kill win starting off game 1.
Well, let's have a quick brief look at the kills. It was KSV on 4 kills, but Method we were talking about, they had a lot of kills in there. They got 12 kills at 3rd place, so while they didn't get the 2nd place finish, the amount of kills they got, I believe, will have pushed them actually up into 2nd place with the difference. Sun Sisters in 4th place as well. Fantastic finish for them, getting themselves 5 kills on there. Noble into 5th place with 5 kills. FaZe in 6th place. I think overall, they picked up, what am I saying, 9 kills as well in 6th place, so not too bad from them. Of course, they were in Novo very early on. Rogue in 7th, Cloud9 down in 8th, and LGD in 9th, and the 10th place was Chaos. A lot of big names missing from them top 10.
Yeah, exactly. That was a really harsh game to start off with, but we saw a lot of teams on the west side initially, and then it shrunk all the way southeast. So we saw Vanga struggling, coming in late. Optic actually, the team that just won, they came in late from the north side, but that's because the Vitality and Chaos abandoned the north side of the bridge.
Yeah.
They came in freely into the circle and then controlled that hill from then on.
They actually came over the bridge as well, I believe.
Yeah,
I don't think they swam it either. They were just so slow coming down. It's in there. Obviously went into Georgia Pole North. Optic successfully